What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the PhotogNation podcast. I am Josh Russell, professional photographer, portraits and weddings. This is the podcast where I would like to help you grow and become a better portrait and photographer in general. So what's going on, everyone? Before we get into this, please hit that follow. I'm just going to say it right away. But I have a special guest with us, as you can see. She is one of my newly acquired friends, and we've both become pretty close over the last, month or so. Photographer. She is based on the Space Coast in Florida. One half of the Robertson Warwick photography. We have Faith Warwick here. What's going on, Faith? How are you?
Hi, I'm fantastic. I'm excited to be here.
So, if Faith looks familiar, she was just in my amazing Universal Studios photos. I got connected with her through Facebook, and she wanted some photos, and I wanted some photos at Universal, and it just kind of worked, and we spent the day together, and it was just magic from there on out, and now we've been connected like nonstop talking. So I thought, now that I'm bringing this podcast back and I'm moving away from the wedding one back into the just based around photography one, I got to bring her on and hear a little bit about her story and about what she's got going on, and just kind of get some thoughts about some things that we've talked about off the air. But basically, tell them a little bit about your business, what you do. You are weddings, you do boudoir, you do all of the above. Just tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Mainly weddings and families. We do maternity, and I recently have ventured into boudoir. We have kind of our hands in a couple different things right now, some of which I can talk about, some of which I can't talk about, but all good things. We started about 5 years ago. Very blindly, just kind of following a passion. And then there was a lot of learning, as it goes per usual in the world of entrepreneurship and business. And yeah, you think you're just going to start a business and it's going to be, oh, this is going to be fun and great. Like,
Oh, you mean you don't just snap photos and that's it? Like, there's more to it? Like,
that's yeah. Imagine that. This
so
isn't.
you are. So you're a husband and wife team, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so coming from me as a husband and wife team, and I'm the husband side of it, I want your take on how you feel about the husband and wife team situation. Like, there are a lot of photographers, especially wedding photographers, that are that husband and wife team, and it definitely has its pluses and its minuses, I understand, but, like, how do you feel it works? I always like to hear, was it something that you've always been into? Is it something that when you both started, you're like, okay, we're going to do this together? Or like, how did it happen?
So our situation's unique. I think you and I are more similar because I think you do most of like the running of the business and all of the back end and everything, which is what I do. And then our spouses are absolutely amazing. They know what they're doing. They're here to back us up. If we need them, they're right there. So Harry's always been just super artistic, creative. He he's can play 5 different instruments. Like, he just never followed the status quo. So he's kind of always been like that. Me, I really did kind of want to get into the business side of things in the world of that. So we both had a passion for photography, and we were inspired. Somebody we knew for the first time that we had ever seen was doing this successfully, and it opened that door into the world of, hey, this is a huge business industry. Like, you can, have make a great life and enjoy it as you do it. Not without its challenges, but still more enjoyable than the 9-to-5 grind. It's just a 24/7 enjoyable grind now.
Right, yeah.
And so, we began. And I love Harry's just, you met him. He's just so positive. We're both
amazing.
Very laid back. Yeah. He's more laid back than me. If I need anything at all whatsoever, he's just on it. We complement each other well. I think I'm more bold in the area of the directing side and being assertive. But he's just super tech savvy, like, which I am not. So we, complement each other very well there. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Come fix it for me.
So when you two started, or when you first started doing weddings, was it always like, hey, you're going to be my second? Or was it something that you shot by yourself and then you were like, all of a sudden you're like, I need a second. You want to do it?
Yeah.
Like, how did that?
I went first.
I myself, like my wife, up until 5 years ago, had no interest whatsoever in photography, and I needed someone to help me like carry lighting and stuff like that. So that turned into that, and then all of a sudden it was, hey, do you mind snapping some candid photos? And then it was just, now it's just every weekend she knows that she's going to be with me, and it was never like. She never had like real interest in photography until she was already in it, and then I was like, okay, well now you're starting to see the flow of everything, and now she's the photo snob. Like she sends me photos all the time, and it's like, look at this, like somebody's posting this. Like I'm like, you need to stop. Like she turned into the photo snob, and she's the judgy one, and but now it's come to a point where like I never had worry. She's always known what to do. But like now she's catching these photos that like I would have never even seen. Like she just has a different perspective on it, because she captures the candid stuff where I plan everything. And so like she's capturing the groom walking down the aisle and the grandma hugging the bride, and like just these photos that like I'm probably off doing something else, and she's capturing these candid things, and it's become an amazing combo between us, because then our couples don't have to choose if they want planned photos or a candid photographer. They're getting both. So that's where it's been really, really helpful in our business.
We're the exact same way. We both wanted to be in photography, so we both got cameras and started shooting at the same time. But when it came to the world of weddings, I went first. So I was very fortunate. I found photographers. They had their booking and their second, and I was like, can I follow along? And also, can I build my portfolio? And a lot of photographers like won't let you do that, but I was fortunate and found people that were like, yep, everyone starts somewhere. You can see how a wedding goes. Like, come on. Like, take pictures, learn, and my pictures were awful at first. I had a Fuji crop sensor. What? At a wedding?
Hey,
what?
My first music... My first music videos I ever shot was with a Fuji crop sensor, so I understand. Or technically it was a Panasonic, but it was like the same thing. So
I don't even think I had a flash on it.
Yeah.
Like the first wedding I went to, I was like, why are they so dark?
So I had already been shooting before I got into weddings. So I shot like concerts and stuff like that, and musicians and those things. So like I never second shot for anybody until I was actually like multiple weddings deep, and then I started like helping out friends and stuff like that. So anybody that's listening or watching, don't do that. Do what Faith said and do some second work first. I got lucky, I guess. But I already had the skill of the photography. I just didn't know the wedding flow, which if I would have second shot a few times, I could have learned that a little bit, and I probably would be further in my career faster. Like, I'm happy at where I'm at now, but I've also been doing it for 9 years. So it is what it is. But like, I completely agree that you should probably second shoot for a while. So
weddings, it depends on how you start. Like, one of the first ones I ever went to was at the Orlando Science Center, which is a decent venue in Orlando, I would say. I love it. It's gorgeous.
I've been there. I've been there as a guest. I took the family there. I've never been there like for a wedding or anything.
It's so cool. In the dino room and everything is decked out. So you go in and you're just awesome. Like, whoa. Yeah. So I definitely came home and I was like, well, we have a long way to go. And learning what the F we're doing.
I saw this. I saw this trend on TikTok yesterday that photographers now are like green screening their first photo and standing in front of it and been like, okay, guys, here's my first photo that I ever took. And then they step out of the way and then they just talk shit about themselves for like a minute and a half. So I want to do that, but I have to figure out like
I love that.
I have to find one of my old photos because I'm a digital hoarder. I have like every hard drive from every wedding I've ever shot. So like I can pull out a wedding from 2011, no problem. So, but I'd have to figure out like I would have to figure out what my first wedding was. Like, yeah. So or my first portrait. That would probably be even better because that would be like 2008, 2009. So that would be even better. So you're transitioning a little bit less weddings into the boudoir. How is that going for you? How is the transition? Are you finding any difficulties with it? Or is it are you leaning back towards previous clients? Like, tell me a little bit about the transition into boudoir.
So that just happened, and I have put it on pause for my other business venture that I cannot speak of yet.
Your other Voldemort ventures that cannot be mentioned?
It has nothing to do with photography, but I am not legally able to speak about it yet.
Yeah, right.
But that came right after I was like, ooh, I will say I was way more fired up about boudoir. Like once I did a session, it was just because I'm big on like educating, I guess, so helping. So to help another human in that capacity, obviously mostly women, but you know, not opposed to guys or couples.
You're not gonna. Are you gonna do some dudoir sessions? That's the
hell
question.
Yeah, I would do some dudoir. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
You ready? You're about to be down here in Florida.
I don't know.
We'll do it in the Harry Potter bathrooms.
with Moaning Myrtle just getting down and behind us and stuff. Yeah, that'll be really interesting.
Can I just add that Josh and I are both going to be at Universal shooting clients on the same exact day, and it's day before St. Patrick's Day. So
it is. Yeah, we're trying to get all our plans together for that whole trip, and it's like we'll be down there the 14th at like midnight. We leave Milwaukee at 9 p.m. on that Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we're not doing anything. We're just going to kind of hang out and probably go hit Disney property or something. And then we're shooting / going to Universal on the 16th because Casey doesn't have an annual pass yet. We just bought a one-day ticket for this. So we're going, but we're also staying at Dockside. So we're going to stay at Dockside. So we'll get in an hour early. And I would get in an hour early anyway because of my annual pass. But she'll get in an hour early. So we're going to spend like 8 a.m. to 2 until we shoot the engagement session, like just being guests. And then at 2 to 6, we'll shoot the session. And then after 6, then we'll meet up with you guys. And I mean, I'm sure we'll meet up at some point in between. But at 6, then we'll kind of just hang out. So Casey's never been to Mardi Gras there, so she's excited for the parade.
Cool. Yeah. Ours is 2 to 4, and we get a break, and then we're just photographing them on the float, which I don't think is until like 7:30. So
I thought I remember you saying that you were watching them on the float or photographing them on the. So how are you going to do that? Are you going to like follow along the float and just kind of walk as the float's going, or like just capture them as one time as they come by? Or
they'll be able to tell us which float they're on, but we've been pass holders for 5 years now, and it's really not hard. I mean, Universal isn't really big.
Right.
So, and I already know in my head the route the float goes. So, like, even during Christmas time, we'll watch it go by, and then we'll walk to this other spot, and then it'll come back by, and we'll watch it go back by again. Yeah. So,
yeah, she's pretty excited to go. Like, well, you know how much of a Disney freak she is, so she's kind of angry at me that we're not going to Disney, but she's very excited to see the Mardi Gras stuff. So,
and the food.
So let's get into our topic that we want to talk about, and basically we've been having this discussion over the last week or so about photography and how photography is a luxury service, and that's what we want.
Let's set this up the right way.
You set it up then, yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm big on educating. So this, anytime I'm on a platform like this or speaking to somebody one-on-one, or even if I have a potential client and I can tell maybe like, okay, they don't know this aspect of it. All you have to do for the most part is let them know what that is. And then they're like, oh, I get it. So what I really want to do and utilize this for is not to just put photography on a pedestal or just come out swinging saying what it is. I really want to set the tone for what I'm about to say next, so it's not misconstrued with, any animosity or ego or anything like that. It is very easy to see someone taking pictures and think that's all there is to it. And what people don't realize is if you want a true professional, the thing is, everybody has an iPhone or an Android. You can get cameras for cheap. They're all over the spectrum of how expensive you can go with gear, depending on what you do, your level of software that you utilize, how you edit. So many things go into making a photograph and bringing a certain level of artwork to it. So if you just need some photos, honest to God, the new iPhones are baller. They can get the job done. Yeah. If you want a professional that truly runs a professional business, can really give you that higher quality, the ability to turn it into artwork that you can print in high resolution and hang on your walls, all of that stuff, there is so much more that goes into the business side that people have no idea, or the amount of time leading up to it, all the conversations you have. Do you have a client closet? Is this for a wedding? There's a lot of planning that goes into this stuff. And then there's the act of actually taking the photograph, and then there's the post-production, which is the big part of the iceberg. So that means that professional photography is not a necessity, because you can use your iPhone. You can use a cheap camera. You can phone your friend that has an old Canon or whatever, and you can do that. So professional photography from a established business is not a necessity. Therefore, that does make it a luxury. And luxury items come at luxury prices. And people kind of get the sticker shock at first, because I think they have it in their mind like, oh, I need a professional to come take photos, and I want some really nice photos. And then you tell them the price, and I think so many people don't understand what truly goes into the reason why. Because it's not just so, like, we don't take that whole thing home. Like 33% right off the top goes to your taxes. And then you've got your overhead and software and all the monthly fees of running a business and CRMs and so many things. And that's what I really want to go into. And hopefully people hear and maybe understand a bit more of the value a photographer brings. Their artistic style, their eye. Like, and you and I are different. We photograph different.
Right. And I think that's kind of... I think that the photography industry has, and it is, without explanation, it's going to sound kind of narrow, but I think the photography industry has been diluted so much from everybody having a camera that they don't see the professionals, like, why. And I think that's where the education needs to come in, because you wouldn't expect a painter to paint for the same price as somebody who does water or does finger painting. You know what I mean? Like, it is a more in depth. And I had this conversation the other day, like when I was talking to somebody about Universal photography, like shooting at Universal, and they were like, and we had this conversation too. Why is it more expensive than, let's say, just a normal engagement session? And mine is not so much the cost of the pass and the cost of the print or the parking and all of that stuff. My price difference is based more around the fact that I'm deleting people out of the photos. I'm like doing so much in the post and the editing. That's why. And she was like, that makes sense to me. She's like, I didn't even think about the fact that most of your photos look like nobody's there. And I'm like, it takes a long time to do that. Like with the photo with you, I took like 50 people out of the line. You know, like and that's why mine's a little more expensive. And that's something that, yes, if you want, I don't know how to say it without sounding rude. If you want good photos, hire anybody. Take your cell phone, do that. But if you're looking for something that's more artistic, then you're going to need to know that you're going to pay a premium. And that's the important part about that. And just explaining why, like to the people that are looking at you, whether it's a portrait session. I was just having this conversation this morning. You know, my portrait sessions, for one portrait that's like one of my banger portraits, it's like $500 just for that one photo. And they're like, how can you charge that much? I'm like, do you know how much work I put into one photo, setting up lighting, making sure that everything is correct in the background? Yeah, it's one photo, but that one photo may take me an hour to take it, just because I want that one photo to be perfect. And then it's all the editing. I mean, it's 2 hours of editing on one photo just to make sure the skin is perfect and the colors look right and everything. So I mean, it's so much more than just taking a photo from my perspective.
Yeah.
Anybody can take a photo. What we do is we're creating art. And like you said, our styles are two completely different styles. And that's where the decision should come into play, is like what style you're looking for, not what price range you're looking for. I mean, if you're looking for something that you're going to hang on your wall, if you're looking for something that's going to be in an album, you should automatically expect to pay a premium because it's something that's going to last forever. So, I mean, I just feel like it's really important.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on, all of those things. And I think, and every single time I've explained that to anybody when they seem to not understand at first, they truly are like, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
But for whatever reason, like right off the rip, most people look at even professional, any photographers, it doesn't matter what level you're on. I feel like we all get kind of grouped together under one blanket opinion. And it's definitely not that way in this industry. Like, so much goes into getting to those next levels, honing your craft, finding what your style is and offering that in a unique way, your brand.
Yeah.
Running your business. Yeah. So many things.
It is. And I feel like at some point, I almost feel like it's easier to be a cheap photographer than it is to be an expensive photographer when it comes to setting yourself apart, because there are so many people already automatically assuming that photography should be a cheaper price. So they're just okay with, like, I feel like I got a lot more bookings when I was cheap than what I do now, but the quality of bookings is better, I feel like.
I mean, that's the point. I don't want to book the same amount.
Right.
The more, like when every single time we know we like up level our skill and then our price point changes to reflect that, I wouldn't be able to take on as many people. Like what you were saying, like, 2 hours on one photo trying to get 50 people out of the back. Like, you wouldn't want hundreds of universal shoots to do that on. You would need a team you would need a team at that point.
for sure. Yeah. And that's kind of what it is, we raise our prices within reason to reflect our experience, to reflect our product that we're giving. It's not like we just raise our prices just because we want more money. And that's something that it needs to be kind of explained when we talk to potential clients as well, is we're not just raising our money because we want to be rich. We're raising our money, or we're raising our pricing because it reflects the type of service we give. And with mine, I've raised my prices even more because I'm also a photography instructor. So I feel like having that knowledge is worth a little bit more in my eyes. I mean, it could just be my opinion, but I feel like having the knowledge, knowing that the person that's photographing my wedding also teaches photographers, is a little bit more important, because not only do I know one side of it, but I know how to teach others how to do it.
I would be so comfortable. Like, if my wedding photographer was also a photography instructor, I would just be like, psh, he's got this. You don't have to think about that anymore.
That's what it's come down to. Like, this last year, I really felt it. This year going into it, like, I can feel it even more. The weddings that we have now booked, like, I can totally feel a completely different sense of comfort when they talk to me, when they, the one we shot at the end of January here, like, it was it was super smooth sailing. They were like, yeah, you got it. Like there was no nitpicking, there was no anything. And I feel like paying that premium to get somebody that knows what they're doing, that can help you through the day, like you almost should pay that premium, because it's going to be one less stressful on your wedding day, especially weddings, because you don't have to babysit me all day. I know what I'm doing. Like, I know where I need to be. I'm actually probably going to be helping you get to where you need to be as a wedding couple. Like, there's going to be people that want to talk to you all day. At some points, I'm going to pull you away. It might not even be like, sometimes I don't even take photographs. I just pull them away. I'm like, hey, can we go over here and take a photo? And then, so I'll take them outside, let them take one photo, and I'll be like, I just wanted you to be able to breathe for like 5 minutes. So then I'll be like, I'm going to step away. You guys take a minute to yourself, gather yourself, kiss a little bit. It's your wedding day, and then come back in when you're ready. Like, I do that often, because I can tell that at some points they're getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So you're not only paying for the photographer, but you're paying for someone that's kind of helping you throughout the day. I mean, even if you have a planner or a coordinator, we're with them from start to finish, or mostly from start to finish. So it's I feel like it's important. So
I can't tell you how many times people have been like, oh my God, you guys saved the day. You kept us on track. Like, for whatever reason, Harry is the opposite of this. But my internal clock my whole life has always been oddly spot on. When I was younger, I would start playing games with myself. Like, I would hadn't looked at the clock in hours, and I would be like, it's 1:13. And then I would go look at the clock, and it would be 1:13 or something like that. So when it comes to that, really comes in handy during weddings for us, because it's like, I mean, I have my watch, I can check it, but for the most part, it's like, once I see the timeline, it's almost like it goes somewhere in my subconscious, and then I don't even have to think. My body will just like alert me, like, all right, T-minus 10 minutes, like, and then I'm like, all right, I'm on it. And if something, it prevents things from falling behind, if things are starting to fall behind, or if people are, I mean, it's like, so many times I've been like, all right, where's your mom? You got to get in your dress. Oh, we're getting her. Oh, we're getting her. Like, where is she? Oh, okay. Denise, let's go. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know this seems really aggressive right now, but I swear to God, it's like, for your best interest. Daughter needs to get in her dress.
So me and Casey are both pretty good with timing as well. But I do tend to dilly-dally a little bit when I'm photographing, and that's where usually I mean, for the most part, if we let the wedding control our day, for the most part, like, if the bride, now I will say, like, if the bride is not in a dress, like, hey, we need to get going, especially if we're doing a first look with that or anything like that. But for the most part, I kind of just let them dictate what's going on. But every now and then, Casey will look at me and she'll be like, hey, like, we got to get going. And I'm like over here just taking 700 pictures of a lay flat or something like that. I just got a flat lay, and I'm over here just snapping away and moving stuff. And she's like, hey, we got to get going. And I'm like, oh shit, okay.
I'm sorry, the light and the shadows are just so cool right here.
Right. Yeah. Or up here, like, in Wisconsin in general, like, every wedding is somewhat, or not every, but most weddings are somewhat based around just the drinking side of it, the party side of it. So I tend to forget that sometimes when I'm shooting the couple and the wedding party is all on the bus, like, let's get going, let's go bar hopping, and I'm still shooting the couple. So Casey will be like, hey, like, we got to let them go. Like, they want to go party. And I'm like, oh shit, I need another half hour with them. The sun looks great, and the clouds look amazing. And she's like, let's wrap it up. So
that's so funny.
She's the timekeeper when it comes to wedding days. So, because I would just photograph all day long. Like,
maybe that's a female thing.
Maybe.
Because Harry's like you in that aspect.
Yeah. I think it's just like we get in our zone, and like we just want to keep going. Where like, but the thing is I am always early to everything. So like, if we're scheduled to be there at 10, we're probably there at like 9:15. Just because like, I hate being late anywhere until I'm there, and then it's like I forget all of that. So like, as soon as like I'm in the job or in the, where it's I need to be.
Like, you made it to base.
Yeah. And then after that, it's like, oh, I don't really care. Like, oh, we were supposed to be done at 9 o'clock and it's 10:30. Like, oh, okay. So, so yeah. So, but I mean, do you find Do you find it's hard to convey the reasoning behind the additional costs that we do?
No. Like, I love talking to people. Our big thing in booking your vendors and us and finding a photographer is, are they your people first? Well, first, okay, let me back up. Look at our work and our reviews. So does that look like something you want? And is what everyone else saying about us sound like what you want? Okay, well, now let's meet. Let's do a Zoom call. Let's phone call, whatever it is. I don't want to I prefer not to just text and email. Like, I want to hear your voice. I want you to hear mine. I want you to feel my energy and see what we're really going to bring to your day and how we do that. And of course, they want to know the price. And before we ever even get to that, I make sure they know everything we bring to the table. I mean, and I know you do this, but so many photographers don't. We have backups on backups on backups. Our cameras are dual slots. Like, your memories are protective. Like you said, I'm the same way. I hoard hard drives. I don't erase hard drives. Like, we've got a network of people, like, should something happen. You know what I mean? All that stuff, aside from so many other things. Like, I just go into all of that. I find out exactly what they need. We probably talk for like 30 or 40 minutes before I even get to what their pricing options are. And every single time I get to the pricing option, they're just like, yeah, okay. Because they get it. Like, at that point, they understand. They're like, this makes sense. And I'm like, I know it does.
First of all, I hate talking on the phone. And the reason because if I'm not recording it, by the time I hang up, I'm going to forget everything we talked about. So I prefer someone to come in and sit down with me, or a Zoom meeting. And if it's a Zoom meeting, then I record it. And I let him know the reasoning why is because, like, there's so much going on in this big fat head of mine that by the time we hang up, I have forgotten literally every detail that they told me. So I'm going to need an email anyway. So I just let him know. I'm like, hey, I'm going to record this just so I have it. And then even sometimes at my studio, I'll set like my little recorder down and just record the audio of it just so I have it. And I let him know. I'm like, hey, when it comes to like talking to someone, I'm usually watching your mouth and I'm not listening to what you say. So like, it's just how it works in my head. Like, so I'm like, I have to do it that way. But I also, when it comes to the pricing, I give them a range. So I just let, before they come to the meeting, I usually just let everybody know that's messaging me, my pricing starts around, and I just say around $2,000, but most couples end up investing around $5,000 to $6,000. I do have higher collections, but that's a rough estimate on what you can expect to see from me. And then before I even give them my hard pricing or anything, I'm like, but first I would love for you to either come in or have a Zoom meeting with me to make sure that we click, because I don't take every wedding that comes my way, just like I don't feel like you should take a photographer that you don't want to spend an entire day with. So,
no, man, that matters.
Yeah, we have a meeting first before I give any pricing. Typically at that meeting, I will give them the pricing then if it feels like everything's going smooth. Otherwise, if I don't feel like it's going smooth, I'll just let them know, like, I'll send you my pricing, and I still send them the pricing because I don't want them to just think like I'm judging them and I'm like, no, this isn't going to work. But I'll still send them the pricing and see how they feel. Maybe it was just a bad day for them, or just something was going on in their life. So I don't just hard know it after the meeting if it doesn't feel right. I kind of just try to feel it out a little deeper. But I don't usually mention pricing until at least the second talk or second like actual meeting. And then I'll sit down and I'll be like, okay, my pricing is usually the same no matter what. But in my meetings, I'll be like, okay, well, this is what I came up with for your wedding. Here are my collections. Like, this is what I think you are going to want. And I always try to push the two photographers, because that's the one that gets both candid and more posed stuff. So that I always try to push that one. And I just let them know. I'm like, then you don't have to make a decision on what style of photography you want. You've seen my work hang on the walls and on my website, but that's, if you want all the candid stuff in between, then you're probably going to want to hire me with my wife as well. And I feel like, going back to that husband and wife thing, like, I feel like being a husband and wife couple combo, like, it makes wedding couples more comfortable as well. Like I've shot weddings. I've shot weddings where I had another female photographer with me that wasn't my wife, my intern Steph at the time. She would go to weddings with me every now and then, and especially if it was like a Friday or a Thursday wedding where Casey couldn't get off her normal 9 to 5 job, and I felt like it didn't go as smoothly. Like not that Steph isn't good, but it just. With the couples, like I feel like the wedding couple just get it because me and Casey talk shit to each other all day long, and like
they love that.
Around. Yeah, right. Like
they're like these are real humans.
Married life, right? Yeah,
yeah.
Her complaining when I'm making her carry a 42-inch umbrella through on the beach.
It's when Harry and I get in each other's shot, or what? Like when we're doing like the portrait part, and he's getting like angles. He's doing like the creative stuff, and I'm like, ooh, I really like that. And like he'll be like, "Way to photobomb me, Faith," and I'm like, "Wow, shut up."
Hers is mostly.
They look amazing right now. We're like,
hers is mostly when I'm making her carry a C-stand with a giant 42-inch umbrella through the sand on Lake Michigan by the beach, and
why is she doing that? You do that.
She's the second. That's you're not allowed to meet her. You're going to take her side.
I can't wait to meet her. Yes, sir.
What is that? It's 2 weeks from today, right? Yeah. 2 weeks from today, we'll be hanging. Yeah.
It'll be so fast. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Plus, it's been like 15 degrees here, and we have like 1.5 feet of snow. So, yeah, I need to get out of here with that.
Hard pass. I'm sunburnt right now, so... That's how my life is going down here.
So, like, a bunch of the photos that I was editing of you, I took a lot of your sunburn out. And, like, I don't even think it's so natural to you that I don't even think you realized you had sunburn, like, in some of the photos. Like, some of the photos you could totally see, like, your strap line's really hard. But, like,
look.
I don't think you noticed that because you're just used to it. Like, that's Florida. You know
I do notice
like,
it, and I thought of it before. I actually meant to go get a spray tan and forgot. I was like, damn it. But I live in a racerback because it's Florida and it's hot all the time. So I was like, it is what it is. I look
any
like
of the photos that it was like super noticeable, I took it out. Like if it was like a photo of just you and you were like right at the camera, or like if it was you and Harry and you were really up close, like I pulled some of it away like that. But like anything that was further away, I'm like, you don't really notice it enough.
Right.
So yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Faith, I'm super happy for everything you have going on and everything you can't tell us about. Give them some information about where they can find you if they're looking for a photographer or looking for whatever your next venture is. So give us some information about your photography.
So our website, I haven't changed my last name. Not for any reason, probably other than laziness, but it's Roberts and Warwick, so ROBERTS ANDWARWICK photo PHOTO.com. That is our website. Facebook, it's Roberts and Warwick Photography with the and symbol, not spelled out, and then Instagram is Roberts Warwick Photo. So if you want to see our work, what we're up to down here, there's behind the scenes.
Are you on TikTok?
Ridiculous.
Are you making TikToks?
Technically, I'm on TikTok, but listen, one thing at a time. You should have seen my business coach getting me on Instagram. She's like, girl.
I've been on Instagram for a long time, so I understand Instagram. TikTok was something new to me, and now I've recently started putting up YouTube Shorts on my YouTube channel, and it has blown my YouTube channel out of the water. I'm averaging like 20,000 or 30,000 views a month now. This month I've done 300% more views than I did last month. From putting these, they're just behind the scenes videos, like 5 seconds of a behind the scenes, and then the photo that I took, and they're just every one that I put up has like 3,000 views on it within minutes. I'm like, let's run this, yeah. Okay, so before we get out of here though, I do have fast questions. So I'm going to ask you questions, and you're going to give me answers. So you can't think about it. You can't. I mean, you can think about it for a second, but I don't want any in-depth answer. Like I just want what comes to mind, and it's most of them are all photography related. So, are you ready?
Okay, let's do it. Go.
Okay, what camera's in your bag right now? What are you using?
Sony A7 Mark III.
Ooh, nice. What is your go-to lens for shooting, let's say, weddings?
Sigma 24-70.
Nice. That's what I used when we shot together. What is your biggest wedding pet peeve?
Nothing even comes to my mind. Oh, I have one. Not getting a shot list till the night before.
That would suck. What's your wedding outfit look like? What are you wearing to the wedding?
Oh, I have this. I just got this. I'm so excited about this thing. It's a jumper, and it looks like this. So it's got like, because I sweat a lot in Florida, right? It's hot down here. So that way, like, my underarms are not getting like sweat stains. And then it's got deep pockets, so I can have my batteries and stuff in there if I need to. And then it's also really, really like loose and flowy and stretchy. So when I have to like drop it low really fast and get back up, I can.
That's awesome. I think I have the same outfit. Okay, so here we go. Reception dinner: steak, chicken, or fish?
Steak.
Yeah, steak. I'm a steak guy. I guess so. This question is going to be a little hard for you because the environment is the same most of the time. But summer, spring, fall, or winter wedding? What's your favorite?
Oh my God, winter! It's hot down here.
Well, I know, but
summer is brutal.
But your winters aren't like our winters, so that's why I said it's kind of difficult because a winter up here is 2.5 feet of snow on the ground. So like, I'm a fall person. So
dude,
give me
I don't know why.
Colorful. Yeah.
It was 80-something degrees in February, right? That's not really normal. Normally our winter is like January, February, and it'll actually get a little cold for here. We had a wedding the other weekend, and I swear to God, I was like, why in the hell is it so hot right now? like this is not okay.
Yeah, even when I come down in 2 weeks, it's supposed to be like high 70s to low 80s. Like as of right now, that's what it's saying. Okay, natural light or flash?
Both? Can I say both? That's hard.
Yeah, I'll let you get away with it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's an important one. The DJ steps away to use the bathroom and asks you to play a song. What are you playing?
Ooh, I don't know.
You get one song.
I do know. I'm gonna play Journey because Harry hates him. Don't stop believing. Let's go.
We got 2 more questions. What's your dream wedding location to shoot? If you could shoot anywhere in the world, where would you shoot?
Oh, anywhere in the world. Italy.
Yeah, just let's say someone books you and they're like, "Where should we photograph?"
Scotland.
Scotland. Yeah, that's awesome.
I've been.
That would be really cool.
Would love to go back.
I'm jealous. And the last one is, what piece of advice would you give to a wedding couple about wedding day? About wedding day. Yeah, like it's your client. What is one piece of advice you could give them about the wedding day?
Like, okay, if I'm thinking practical, because this one actually comes up a lot. I have to remind them a lot. In your getting ready rooms, make sure before I get there, you have a designated stuff corner for your trash, for all of your miscellaneous. Make sure it is not directly across from a mirror so that when I come in to get your photos, there's not a whole bunch of junk around you and plastic and boxes and water bottles, and we don't have to waste time moving all of those things so that I can utilize what I'm sure is a beautiful room.
I absolutely love that answer. Like I've asked these questions to a few different people, and it's usually like, remember to breathe, or remember to enjoy your day, or to have fun. Like you just gave like some deep cut knowledge. Like make sure you got the crap out of the pictures. Like I love it.
Well, yeah. At the beginning of the day, honestly, that's like the heavier end of photography. So like,
absolutely,
because you do have your details and all of that going on. It's like if you can make that a smoother process, you get more photos out of it.
Absolutely.
And I'm not like helping you move a whole bunch of shit, taking out
Faith, thank you so much for coming on here and doing a podcast. I know that it's something newer that you're into, and you're like, yeah, let's do it. Like you're all excited about it. So thank you for coming on. Once again, everybody that's listening, make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow us. Go check out Roberts and Warwick Photography on all the social medias. I'll leave all the description or all the links in all the descriptions, and you can go check them out. I'll see you in 2 weeks, and we're gonna have fun and we're gonna crush it.
We are totally gonna crush it. I will talk to you later. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.